Hello, my name is Emily Little, and I'm doing a review of the Google Chrome extension Read and Write for Google Chrome based off Category 4, Guidelines 4.1 and 4.2, which are vary the methods for responsive navigation as well as optimize access to tools and assistive technologies. And the category is called Provide Options for Physical Action. So this tool I find really useful as a teacher. I work currently as a long-term sub for second grade, and I was looking for a tool that could help me kind of customize and individualize online assignments um, for a grade level that isn't proficient in reading yet. So I wanted something that would make grade level content more accessible to children who were not yet meeting those grade level standards in reading proficiency and writing. So this is a really, really useful tool for that. Um, to help them gain access to grade level content, as well as, individualize it for children with higher needs within the classroom. So Read and Write for Google Chrome is a Google Chrome extension. You would find it on the Chrome Web Store, which is up here. And you just click download, and then it ends up here in your extension bar. And you click on it, and then you have access to it. And what it ends up looking like is here's a Google Doc I made to kind of help go over what this tool can be used for. And it ends up looking like this bar up top here, and it really shines when used in conjunction with um, Google activities or other Google applications. It can be used on some online websites and stuff. I've had some successes using it, but for consistency and it's most reliable in conjunction, specifically with Google Docs, but it does work on like Google Forms, Google Presentations, those kinds of things really well. Um, and this is just a little blurb straight from their little overview, just so I could help show you what it's used for. Here's a URL to the Chrome extension download page, this specific page, if you wanted to grab it. Otherwise, you can just look it up on Google. And so what I'm going to do here using my little numbered things here is I'm going to take you through each one of these little tools here on this bar. And I really do like the form of this bar. It's big, it's chunky. It might look a little clunky to some, but for use within elementary classrooms and younger students, it's really nice and kind of streamlined. It's not as overwhelming as, all this stuff up here. So the first little button here is called Check It, and it's just your basic checker. So you click on it when it's purple, or any of these are purple, that means it's being used. And as you can see, when I clicked on it, it started underlining my things, and it will help you find words that are close to. It doesn't actually want to find grammar, but ooh, there it is. Grammar. That's my I don't know how to shut that off, honestly, my own spell checker. And as you can see, it's underlining this up here. It doesn't know what Chrome is. You can add it to the dictionary. That way it knows. But, and then you can shut it off when you don't want that being used. Pretty simple. The next tool here is called word prediction. And you can actually have it create a topic so the word prediction kind of fits with what your topic is. I don't use that very often because I find the word prediction as is for simple sentences and second graders is fine. So I haven't really shown them how to use these two little things here. But you click it, and I find it's a very useful tool. Look at it, it's already predicting it. Tool for early writing. So for students who are still in early writing and you don't really want them utilizing that voice to text type applications, um, because you still want them to try to learn how to sound things out and recognize words. I find having them utilize this tool instead of voice to text very very good for writing development and reading development because you want them to begin to recognize those words. So I find it's a great replacement for um, voice to text. So then our next application here is dictionaries, text and picture dictionaries, so you can see the meanings of words explained. And I know I have random things highlighted here. I'll show you why in a bit. So if you highlight a word, you can then go and click the dictionary, and it'll show you a little definition of what that word means. And you can even, if you don't know what the word is, you can have it read it to you.
Dictionaries.
And then you can have it read
Noun.
you.
A reference book containing an alphabetical list of words with information about them.
I really enjoy that little aspect. But one of my favorite things for the, early elementary users is you have the word highlighted, the picture dictionary. Oh, I have to re-highlight it. The dictionaries, you go to the picture dictionary and it starts showing you pictures. And one of the best things about this is if you're making some kind of assignment or like icon for your anything in the classroom, as you know, in elementary classrooms, you kind of need icons for everything everywhere. You can save these images and you can paste them or keep them. So you can paste them around your classrooms. So let's say you needed a picture of like a box. You highlight it and it's going to show you boxes icons, and then you could copy that and then you print it out, paste it around your classroom. Love that. It's very useful instead of like Googling little icons for all that. So it's a super cool teacher application as well as student application for, figuring out the meaning of words. So then we have our text to speech to hear words, passages, or whole documents read aloud. So I'm going to go up here and show you that. You have to highlight before you click the read, otherwise it's not going to know what to read. So when you're explaining this to students, always make sure you say highlight everything you're going to do and just click play.
Boost reading and writing confidence across all types of content and devices, in class, at work, and at home. Wonderfully intuitive and easy.
You can stop it, pause it, and then stop it. Wonderful tool for that. I'll get into what this is later. Our next thing is Audio Maker. So if I want to, let's say, keep all of the audio, mm, the text to speech audio for a certain assignment, or have something that'll play the instructions to a child or something like that, is this really cool audio maker tool. So you highlight what you want it to do, and then it'll create an audio file for you, and you can put that audio file anywhere. And so it just
Wonderfully
downloads it.
intuitive and easy to use. Read and write for Google Chrome.
So I'm not going to play you the whole thing, but it'll make you an audio file, which I find really cool. I haven't really had to use that yet since you can have this just read and write everything to you, but having the audio file available so you can switch it across platforms is really nice. Next is our very basic web search. Search the web for document phrases. So I'm going to highlight the word document. Make sure you highlight it first, and then you're going to go web search. And it's going to bring you to Google for that. I do not have the children use that very often, but it is really good for me while I'm doing schoolwork or something, if I need to look up a certain subject or phrase. So searching the web is really cool for that. So then we can mess. The next button here, which I really like for follow along reading while I'm reading to the children in school, or I'm reading on the screen, is screen masking. And what it does is it brings up this little bar here that you can kind of slowly go down the page with, and have students follow along with you or whatnot. And then it comes with this little toolbar. I usually keep it up here. And you can change the opacity and the width and all that of this thing. Not the light, we want the darkness. There we go. And so, if I only want you reading these two sentences, It's going to help me highlight that so students have an easier time following along with you in class. Very cool tool for reading together, like choral reading and all that. And then to get rid of it, you just click the little computer screen there. Very nice. Um, with speech, next is our speech to text, our talk and type. It's called talk and type, which is a very useful tool. So you click that, and then it's gonna bring it open, and it's gonna listen to you and write exactly what you're saying. This is a super good tool for um, children who the way I've used it within class is when I have a larger writing assignment that's going to go back to peer review and editing, because they're in second grade now. I might have students who struggle a lot more with writing and spelling, read out or speak out what they want to say, what their paper is going to be about. And then I'll have them go back and handwrite and edit and reread it over and over again because, they know what they said most of the time and they're able to kind of revisit that in their own minds. So I really like that tool. It's a tool that also just comes with Google for free, but I like that it's included in this as well. And you can also have it translate while speaking. So if you have students, and I actually have two students who are Haitian Creole, actually, um, you can have it translate while speaking if they're struggling with certain words. They speak pretty fluent English at this point. They came in kindergarten, but it is helpful to have a translator tool in there. Speaking of which, our next tool is actually a translator. So this up here, shut that off. This up here is our translator tool, and it auto detects the translation, and it says translate the text into or from 32 languages. So that's my number 9. I put it in Italian just because I think Italian sounds pretty. Um,
Translate the text into or
you want to
from
read it?
32 languages.
Yep. So, and then you can, copy and paste it. I'll add that there. I think that's a really good tool. It's a tool everybody should probably have access to, especially for students who might not have English as a first language. And then we have easy to follow dual color highlighting. So as you go, you can highlight different things in different colors. And this really kind of shines on other pages because this highlighting tool will work on things that are not like yours, like on a document that I can't edit, it'll highlight just for me, and then you can keep that highlighting. It does sometimes it does not work all the time. Um, but the highlighting tool is really useful for documents or text you put into your own document because with that, you can next collect your highlights. So if you click that, you can click which highlights you wanted to collect, which is, you saw I had a bunch of different highlights over there. Um, click OK, and it's going to make me a document. There it goes. Of all my little whatever I highlighted. So if you want to keep track of the things you want to take notations of, this is really, really good for college students. I don't so much use it for students. I don't have the students use that application so much, but I think it's a really good application for being a college student. The other thing you can do with the highlight tool is create a vocabulary list. This is something I do use as a teacher and then give it to the students. So if I'm, using a document in class or an article or something, I can highlight it as I go and it will create me a vocab list in a moment. There it goes. And it creates, if it knows the meaning offhand, it's going to give you the meaning and symbols for it. And then you can add notes. If it doesn't, it's still going to give you the word and you can fill out the meaning and symbols as you go. Um, some success, some not so much. As you can see, I had like 3 words highlighted there and it decided it only knew the definition for the word documents. But that's also because This is a double word, so if you only highlighted the word prediction, it would probably be able to give you a meaning for it. But this is a really useful tool, especially if you just blank these out and then give it to children and have them fill out the meaning or have take notes on it. Like sometimes I'll just highlight words, have it generate me a nice little document like this, and then I'll print it out and give it to students so they can write in definitions as we learn them. Super good tool for that. And then one of my favorite tools on this application, specifically for creating documents for students or assignments for students online, is the voice note application. So you can create and listen to voice notes directly inside of Google Docs. So I created I highlighted highlight a word or a sentence, and then you record a little voice note and it's off to the side in the comments.
This could be a super useful tool for early and developing readers to access grade level content.
I really love using this to make online spelling tests for students who have trouble writing. Um, I can make a Word document and then offer the spelling words and the sounding out or the phonics of the spelling words um, for each word as they go down the document. So, and it's also really nice as a teacher to be able to take the time while they're taking that spelling test that you pre-recorded to do something in class that you need to catch up on that day or something. So I really, really like having the format of online spelling tests where the students can kind of take them at their own pace. Because if you've ever given a spelling test as a elementary teacher, you have to repeat and sound out a word you know, 5, 10 times, or they got to go back. What was number 4? What was number 6? Like, yeah, that can get it's pretty overwhelming. Giving spelling tests, I used to kind of really dread them, and now it's a time I look forward to because it's a time where I can stick them on, and they can re-listen to and my voice give them the word and have them sound it out. Uh, so super good application for that. And so a little bonus tool on here on this is the screenshot reader. So that's this little arrow icon. So this is actually a separate um, extension you do have to download as well in conjunction with the read and write for Google Chrome. Even though it's on the bar there, you have to download this extension to be able to use it. It is also free. There's no subscription or anything for this. It's just a separate extension. So there's a URL for it if you want it. And this tool, if you click on it, it'll give you a little box. And, if you have a picture of something that you can't highlight the words in, it'll, with some success, sometimes you have to do it twice, pick up the words and read them.
Vocabulary. Create a Google Doc with a personalized glossary.
Yeah. I find that a very useful tool if you have pictures or something like that inside of your assignments or documents. You can have students be able to read what's on them if they are not yet able. So I like that extension a lot. I think it's worth downloading as well, especially for students. The cost of this application and both applications is free to use and download. I think I've spoke of that before. The ratings and reviews, I only put the rating for the book, the read and write for Google, the read and write for Google Chrome. Um, it has a 3.4-star rating. One rating I read. I use it while writing novels, and it works perfectly. The various voices speak so well, and you can even change their speed. If it's not opening, make sure you sign into the extension with your email. It won't do anything until you do. So a lot of ratings, I first saw the very low ratings where it's not working, it's not opening, blah, 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 those types of things. And I think a lot of that might have been user error because you have to be signed in, you have to sign into Google and like sign into this extension to get it to work. Um, that was a 5-star rating. I also had another rating. I didn't add it here because there are a few words in it that I didn't understand. But he said the review was a 4-star review, and it said I speak in an accent, and it picks up most of my words perfectly fine. I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, most unfavorable reviews warn of clunkiness and inconsistent results. And so when it's inconsistent results, which I have also seen, is when you try to use it on other websites or other non-Chrome affiliated um, applications. That is when it can get quite touch and go with its usefulness. Um, but for using inside of an application like Google Classroom, where you're making documents for students, um, very good tool. I enjoy the tool very much, and I haven't had too many issues with it. Sometimes with things like the screenshot reader, you have to have it work twice, or stuff like that. But I think it's a very streamlined and simple tool for elementary students to be able to use. And so again, the guideline 4.1, vary methods for responsive navigation. The Read and Write for Google supports this guideline by allowing students to interact with content and demonstrate understanding in multiple ways. It features speech to text, text to speech, and keyboard shortcuts to give students flexible options for navigating and responding rather than relying solely on traditional writing and mouse use. This reduces barriers for students with motor challenges, writing difficulties, or varying processing speed. So I didn't go into the keyboard shortcuts too much, but there is a way to do that. That's not something I've had to use, so I don't know much about it. And then 4.2, optimize access to tools and assistive technologies. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Read and Write for Google Chrome aligns with this guideline by embedding assistive tools directly into platforms like Google Docs. Making them easily accessible within everyday classroom tasks. Students can use support such as audio feedback, word prediction, and visual aids without needing separate programs. And teachers can model these tools in real time. It ensures students not only have access to assistive technology, but also develop the skills to use it independently and effectively. I've had a lot of success with this tool. I really like it. It's great as a teacher, and it's great for students. Um, the only thing is it is an extension, so a lot of schools have blocks on those types of things. So I had to appeal to the school to let them open this up for me to be able to get kids to have it on their Chromebooks. But other than that, I strongly suggest this tool. It can be clunky, but I think its simplistic format is really good for young learners. Thank you. And I know this went on for probably way too long, but it's a good tool.